content. Global audience.
Beautiful Friday here in Abuja, and of course today is Eid al-Fitr. Congratulations to our Muslim faithfuls. We celebrate with you people. The fast has come and gone, is ended. Finally, it's been such a long time, and we know how that is. And today is the day, and we say congratulations. Of course, people should keep our ram. After the show, we are coming to eat that ram.
So seriously, you're coming to eat.
Like I saw my landlord, I saw 2 rams already this morning. I'm like, okay, I'm coming back, sir.
Seriously, we're coming back to eat.
Anyways, yes, congratulations. And then we have a lot of issues trending this morning, a lot of headlines. We also saw the military. That one is my main concern. Everybody's raising alarm over May 29 security issues. We'll see more of that. And of course, later on today, we have bringing a guest on the show this morning to discuss some of these security issues bordering on the people and the nation, of course. But quickly, we'll move on. We'll begin this morning with our newspaper reviews. My name is Princess KESSY, and this is Wake Up Nigeria. I have with me today on the show. How was your night, patient? You look very beautiful this morning.
I should say that to you. You look really pretty. Really
Thank you. Yes, today is Eid al-Fitr. We are celebrating that. Okay, I'll begin this morning with the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories making waves this morning. We have here the major headline says, May 29 handover, Nigeria not in danger. And the rider says, military dispel rumors of possible mayhem after May 29 handover, insists Nigeria not in danger. Now, another headline, a rider here says, urges Nigerians to treat rumor as false, not false alarm, not fake news. Recalls that past security red alert, including that of U.S. government, did not happen as predicted. And another rider says, assures that military is prepared to tackle any crisis that may spring up after handover. All the stories are on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. And then we'll have another story here that says, Eid al-Fitr, Atiku Obi felicitate Muslims, preach love, peace. That story is on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. And then we'll have a story here as well that says, Sheikh Galba has confirmed Buhari gave Fulani lances to kill Otom, and that story is on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. We also have a story here that says Buhari approves suspension of Adamawa wreck, UNISA, Ari. That story is on page 8 as well of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says IGP directs immediate promotions from inspector to rank and file. That story is on page 10 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. We also have a story here that says Ukraine President Zelensky congratulates and invites Tinubu. That story is on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. We also have a story here that says federal government says plans underway to evacuate Nigerians trapped in Sudan. That story is on page 9 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says LP coalition urges INEC to review Enugu Guba election. LP coalition urges INEC to review Enugu Guba election, and that story is on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. We have a story here that says Diri imposes restriction on commercial trade cycles, urges calm in Bayelsa. That story is on page 13 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. We have the last story here that says food prices surge by 9.7 in 7 months over Naira redesign, poor climate, says reports. Now that story is on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. Now these are all the stories making waves this morning coming from the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. And then I saw a story here that caught my attention. The main headline. Now, the military is saying, I'm going to take this again and we'll discuss it. May 29 handover, Nigeria not in danger. Military dispel rumors of possible mayhem after May 29 handover. Insists Nigeria not in danger. Urges Nigerians to treat rumor as false alarm, fake news. Recalls that past security red alerts, including that of US government, did not happen as predicted. Assures that military is prepared to tackle any crisis that may spring up after handover.
A lot.
But my concern here, Pat, is that if they are really ready to tackle these things, why not tackle the ones we are having in
Already.
Kaduna,
Yes.
Benue, and others? Why are we waiting for just May 29? I said this thing yesterday on the show, and thank God I'm going to have somebody to discuss this today with. I don't understand why they are so concerned. Is it that because it's their day, they are all coming out, they will be in the open, so they are more concerned about their lives? Or why is it that they are more concerned about May 29? We have, look at the news yesterday, over thousands of people killed, kidnapped. Up till now, we don't know their whereabouts. And the military is not even talking about these issues, and then we're talking about just May 29. Well, if you ask me, it's quite a shame. And then we saw another story here as well that said the Ukraine president invites the president-elect. Well, congratulations to him. And then I love this story as well, Pat, that says federal government plans on their way to evacuate Nigeria.
That's what I was about to say. I think they need to evacuate Nigeria from that country. They need to. It's really, really important. Most of them are already dying, and a lot is happening to them there already. So this plan should come as fast as possible.
Yes, as fast as possible. And then we also have a story here that says food prices surged by 9.7% in 7 months over Naira redesign, poor climate, says reports. We already know everybody's groaning. And then I saw a major story here that Shehu Garba has confirmed Buhari gave Fulani license to kill. And this is coming from the governor of Benue State, Otom, this morning.
That's actually, I think that's why I saw, I heard in the news this morning why Buhari is after me. Otom said that. I think it's because of this statement, actually. But it's actually a big one.
It's a big one, if you ask me.
To the president of the country, saying he gives them license to kill. It's a big one.
We'll see how that plays out, and we'll move on quickly to the next newspaper we have this morning.
And so, coming from the Nation newspaper this morning, the big headline here says Buhari axes Adamawa wreck, other security chief probe. The rider here says IG, DSS, DG, NSCDC boss gets directive to act. You find the story on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. We also have a story here that says President Tinubu, Governors Sudan call for peace at Eid Fitr. You find that story on page 5 of the Nation newspaper this morning. We also have a story here that says military destroys 46 illegal refineries. Military destroys 46 illegal refineries. And we also have a story, state name transition panels. You find that story also on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. We have a story also that says Bako, Wokoma, Okotete, 10 others in transition sub team. You find that story on page 5 also of the Nation newspaper. DHQ, May 29 inauguration of Tinubu sacrosanct. You find that story on page 4 of the Nation newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says government to evacuate Nigerian students from Sudan. We also have a story that says ahead subsidy removal. Federal government plans 6 months petrol stockpile. We also have a story this morning from the Nation newspaper that says Lagos issues 5 billion naira bond certificates to retirees. Lagos issues 5 billion naira bond certificate to retirees. We also have a story here that says review judges' pay. review judges' pay. You find that story on page 6 of the Nation newspaper this morning. I think those are the news making waves this morning from the Nation newspaper.
Wow.
That's actually a good one. I think this story here that says President Tinubu, Governor Sultan call for peace at Eid Fitr. It's actually a good one. Not after the Ramadan. We all know during the Ramadan, a lot of people try to stay holy, try to abstain
calm
from a lot of things. Now the Ramadan is over, and today is Salah. We are urging that there should be a sober reflection even after the Ramadan and moving forward. I think this mentality of, oh, finally I'm done with the Ramadan, so I should
can go back to my life.
That way of life, I think it shouldn't be so. So it's a good one. We should keep it the way it is, moving forward from now.
And please, this government to evacuate, they should evacuate. I'm seeing plans underway to evacuate, but we're saying they should act immediately. Because this is a war zone we're talking about.
Yes. Their lives, I think.
Yes, they should.
People already dying.
And then I also love this story. Military destroy 46 illegal refineries. Yes, because it's better. We know that this is what we have and what we're working. We know some people going behind to do this, putting other people in chaos. So it's a good move.
It's a good one.
Yes.
Goes to the military.
Yes, and then we move on quickly to the next newspaper we have, and that will be the Guardian. The Guardian. These are some of the stories making waves here this morning. Despite express centers, corruption, racketeering hobbles passport application process. That story is on the major news here on the Guardian newspaper this morning, and we'll have another story here that says Eid Fitr. Continue Ramadan values. Be modest, vigilant, Sultan, IGP, DSS tell Nigerians. And that story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have a story here that says Adamawa poll. INEC denies partnership as Falana urges NBC to sanction NTA. Now that story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have a story here that says India and Nigeria top in children lacking single routine vaccination. And that story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Now these are some of the stories we have here making waves from the Guardian. And I saw a story here that says INEC denies partisanship as Falana urges NBC to sanction NTA. I mean, that was what came to my mind as well. I was saying that this, when Benani did that speech, yes, I said if it was any other station, by now we would have heard sanction 10 million or even close the station. But now, so because it's NTA, nobody is actually talking about it. It's really, thank God Falana he brought this up. They should be sanctioned. And then I saw a story here as well. They say despite express centers, corruption, racketeering hobbles passport application process. Now this is we know like I've covered road safety and the federal safety corps for some years, and I can tell you that those people that are doing this one involved in racketeering passport and they are still their officials. When you go there, you just see some people calling you to the side, trying to deceive you, and they give you fake things. Really yes, I know them. Then I had the interview with the commander then, and he told me that it's their officials but they are even putting searchlight. The one they will just, any day they will just catch any one of them. That will be the end of the road.
We hope
yes, because this is really sad. People should learn to go through the process, the normal process, because people are going through it. So why don't you want to go? If you know you want to get passport now, then start today, because it's a process. We already know that the process is like 6 weeks or 7 weeks. So you have to start on time. You can't just wake up and say you're going through the back door. Anyway, we move on quickly to the next newspaper we have.
This morning we're coming from the Punch newspaper. The big headline here says Sudan conflict. 1,262 Nigerian students demand evacuation. 330 residents killed. 330 residents killed. And the rider here says Nigerian students fill form for airlifting. Uganda, Tanzania rescue nationals. 3,200 injured as outage. Food, water scarcity hits Khartoum, says WHO. You find that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says Buhari suspends Adamawa wreck. Other security agents probe. You find that story on page 19 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And so we have a story that says IOCs moved $21 billion investment to other countries, federal government. And then we have a story also that says military will ensure peaceful handover May 29, says DHQ. You find that story on page 8 of the Punch newspaper this morning. We also have a story coming that says moon sighted in Saudi Arabia. Muslims mark Eid Fitr Friday. We also have a story this morning that says National Assembly inducts lawmakers elect May 7. You find that story on page 28 of the Punch newspaper this morning. We also have a story, Banana Island developer planned to rack in 22 billion naira revenue report. You find that story on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. And finally, from the Punch this morning, Ogun community 1 year blackout linger over IKEDC and IBEDC disagreement. You find that story on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Those are the news making waves this morning coming from the Punch. And so this figure we're seeing here coming from Sudan conflict is actually a big one.
330 residents killed.
It's alive, and we think the government needs to really act fast about it. We need to get our people back.
They should evacuate them immediately. Not plans underway in a situation like this, and that's why I think we should have people in charge. When things like this happen, you don't need to start having meetings upon meetings. You just evacuate, you act, and then before you come and start having your meetings and discuss further.
Yeah,
that is really sad.
A sad one. And then this Banana Island
developer plan to rank
22 billion naira revenue. That's actually a big one. But then if they would do it and be sure that these buildings or these things they are developing,
they are not substandard materials, and the people in charge, they are not quacks as well, then we're good to go. Anyway, we move on quickly now to the next newspaper we have, and this is the Blueprint newspaper. These are some of the stories making waves this morning. We have here Tinubu's May 29 inauguration. No cause for alarm. We have everything under control. DHQ. And the writer says assures of peaceful Eid al-Fitr celebration. Set up a vigilance for seamless transition. Group urges DSS police. Troops neutralize 54 terrorists, rescue 216 civilians. And then we have another writer here that says Zelensky congratulates Tinubu's state visit to Ukraine. All these stories on page 16 and 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says Buhari orders suspension of Adamawa wreck, probe of police, others. Now that story is on page 6 as well of the Blueprint newspaper. We never compromised rerun polls, INEC, and that story as well. It's on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says Union Bank risk losing assets over 1.495 trillion lawsuits, and that story is on page 23 of the Blueprint newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says killer diseases, 6 million Kano, Katsina, Jigawa children not immunized. Now, this is coming from UNICEF, and that story is on page 5 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says rainstorm kills 7, many hospitalized in Delta. Now that story, it's on page 9 of the Blueprint newspaper this morning. We also have a story here that says Taraba, government kill federal varsity will carry staff to immigration officers, and that story is on page 14 of the Blueprint newspaper. As well, we have a story here that says Muslim mark Eid al-Fitr today. Buhari, Lawan, Tinubu, Baru, others preach love. That story is on page 7 of the Blueprint newspaper. We also have a story here that says call us waste pickers and not scavengers. That story, it's on page 20, and it's coming from the Nupan president. We also have a story here that says Dangote Cement empowers 60 farmers in a Greek program, official. And that story, of course, is on page 22 of the Blueprint newspaper. Now, these are all the stories we have making waves this morning coming from the Blueprint newspaper.
Okay, I think this headline from the major news, there's this rider that says troops neutralize 54 terrorists, rescue 216 civilians.
Kudos to them. They tried.
That's a good one. 216 civilians. Kudos to them. And then
we also have a story here that says killer diseases. 6 million Kano, Katsina, Jigawa children not immunized. This is coming from UNICEF, and I think we need to do more.
We need to do more.
I always say that children are vulnerable,
yes.
and they cannot look after themselves. We have to look for them. We have to look after them. So, and we know that these diseases, some of them are not issue of fever or give them Panadol, and some of these things could just strike, and the next thing the child is gone. And so, please, we should do well to make sure the health sector should see to that. This number is quite high. And then I have a story here, rainstorm, and this is actually coming from my state, and it makes me sad. I actually had goosebumps this morning reading that story.
We're having issues about rain now.
I told you the other day. Now, it doesn't mean because it's not raining here in Abuja, it's not raining any other place. Like I know in my state, I said it that it's always raining. Sometimes it could rain for 4 or 5 days without even stopping. And so this shows that the rains there is really serious because rainstorm kills 7. Many hospitalized in Delta. And now that means, yes, it's not a small rain. I'm going to call later after the show to confirm and see how that is going. These are some of the stories and we have. And this story here, call us waste pickers and not scavengers. Yes, because that's scavengers. I know in those days when we used to watch him, they would say those vampire people, that's their second name. So I don't think that name is a good name. And I also love this story here. Dangote Cement empowers 60 farmers in agri. As at the time that fertilizer is skyrocketing, I think this is the best thing, and we say thanks to him. And then we also, just before we move on to the next paper, I also want to talk about the rains. I think people, all states should do well, because I know there was a report that says we're going to have similar to what we had last year when it comes to the storm and the rain. So I think they should prepare a lot of things ahead of this time to make sure that we don't have a lot of issues this year as well. We'll move on quickly to the next newspaper, but before we go, we're going to go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue with the reviews. Now, don't go anywhere, stay with us, we'll be right back.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate. For huge extra opportunity in diaspora, look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date: 15 15th to 21st of May 2023. Venue, Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814.
Ladies, are you ready to shine? Here's a golden opportunity for you to show the world the queen in you, as the second edition of Face of SRTV Ladies Edition is about to begin. What are you waiting for? Register online with just 500 naira and stand a chance of winning a cash prize of 100,000 naira and the deal of becoming our ambassador. There will also be consolation.
Quick break. Just before the break, we've been on the reviews of the newspaper headlines this morning, and we're going to continue here with this day newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories we have making waves coming from this day newspaper. Buhari orders immediate suspension of Adamawa wreck. Another rider says direct IG police to prosecute embattled officer if found liable. 6 investigation. Another of 6 investigation of DSS and SDC official. Falana Binani's culpable should be investigated. Insists her center speech confirmed that she was party to illegal announcements. Urges NBC to sanction NTA for airing her acceptance speech. Now, all the story are on page 12 of this day newspaper. We'll also have a story here that says that President in Salah message says 2023 poll so transparent, his party lost ground in many states. That story is on page 8 of this day newspaper. And there as well, we have a story here that says, the assets holding post of 15 trillion total assets, gross earning hits 1.4 trillion. And that story is on page 12 of this day newspaper. We also have a story here that says NUPRC, Nigeria's oil reserves fell by 0.22%. Gas pool rose by 0.10% in 2022. Another story is on page 5 of this day newspaper. We also have a story here that says Emefiele, how Nigerian curb rice importation funded small holders farmers to boost yields. That story is on page 5 as well of this day newspaper. We also have a story here that says Tinubu repairs president's transmission council, submit 13 names to inauguration subcommittee. Another story is on page 14 of this day newspaper. These are some of the stories we have this morning coming from this day newspaper. That's a lot, but I'm still happy that Falana is on all the papers. NTA needs to, yes, so that next time people would not do such a horrible mistake. And then we also have a message here coming from the president that says, Unisala message that says 2023 poll so transparent, his party even lost ground in many states. Meanwhile, a lot of people don't see that poll like that, as they see it as if it's not transparent, because Tinubu, Atiku, Obi, Saki, Bajabi, Amila, governors, others greet Muslims. We say congrats again to all our Muslim faithfuls. And so these are all the stories we have coming from this day newspaper. We'll move on quickly to the next newspaper.
This morning, coming from the Vanguard, the major headline here says Buhari okays suspension of Adamawa wreck prosecution if the rider says INEC denies meeting with Adamawa government officials to rig poll. You find that story on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says May 29 handover. Tinubu unveils 14-man committee. You find that story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says judiciary created crisis in Labour Party. DG, LPPCC Oshun Tokun. You find that story on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says Eid Fitri, Buhari, Tinubu, Obi, NLC, others facilitate with Muslims, call for unity. The writer says Sultan announces end of Ramadan fasting, declares today Eid Fitri. And so we have a story also that says fish farmers, CBN differs on access to Anchor Borers Fund. You find that story on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We also have a story that says at Nigerians Bees Forum. We also have a story this morning that says May 29 handover. I think I've read that story. And so we have a story also coming from the Vanguard that said military battle ready for threat against May 29 handover. This coming from the HDQ. You'll find that story on page 39 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And finally, we have a story that says gift Uber not for sale. Car gent confirmed. That's from the sport angle on Vanguard newspaper this morning. I think those are the news making waves this morning from the Vanguard. Okay,
Wow.
I think this Fatima committee for the May 29
Yes, handover.
It's actually a good one. We hope that handover will come and go, and these people will continue working even after it's not just during the handover, just like you've been saying. So,
But their work is to make sure that there is a successful, we have a successful transition,
yes,
handover of power. And then I saw a story here that says the story here that says fish farmers CBN differ on access to Anchor Borrowers Fund. We also saw a story here that says judiciary created crisis in Labour Party DG. I don't know how that happened, but whatever it is, let's wait for the judiciary to decide first of all on the election petitions issues.
Yes.
And then we'll move on quickly to the last newspaper we have, and that would be the Punch Sports Extra this morning. Now we'll have a story here that says Elizabeth Oshogba exclusive. I fought with a guy in my class and he started bleeding, and that was when they all knew that I was a good boxer and they left me alone. Rough road to CWG silver win. That is coming from Elizabeth Oshobo this morning, and we say congrats to her. And we also have a story here that say Arsenal versus Southampton. Gunners' eye return to winning ways, and that story is on page 5 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. We also have a story here that says Widers vows to coach Joshua. That story is on page 6 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. We also have a story here that says Drogba wants Osimhen EPL switch. That story is on page 7 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning as well. We'll have a story here that says Saudi lawyer wants Ronaldo deported. That story is on page 3 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. We also have a story here that says Lukman to miss Roma clash. That story is on page 6 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. These are some of the stories we have, and we have a story here that says Messi beware of Artemis the robots. That story is on page 8 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. End of the road for Boniface Urban says. That story is on page 8 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. We also have a story here that says the Sovela 3 United 2 Bed Devils 10 Hogsmen humiliated in Spain crash out. Now that story it's on page 8 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. These are some of the stories we have this morning, and we have on the 20 World Cup female Eagles known foes today. That story is on page 8 of the Punch Sport Extra this morning. These are the stories we have coming from the sports desk this morning.
Okay, so Elizabeth Okshoba had a funny story, a funny way of discovering her talent.
Yes.
Actually,
I bet that guy will never believe and he will not want to fight the woman next time. He will stay away from the ladies.
That's actually a good one. Congratulations to her.
Yes, congratulations to her. Me, I want to see more details of this. Saudi lawyers want Ronaldo deported. What did he do?
I was like, they actually put in a lot of money to get him there. So why would they want him
Deported?
It's actually a good one. We need to read in depth to know more.
All right, that is where we wrap up the newspaper reviews this morning, and like I promised earlier, we're going to be bringing in a guest now, so we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, a guest will be joining us to discuss some of these security issues we're having across states and the nation. Don't go anywhere, stay with us, we'll be right back.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate for huge extra opportunity in diaspora. Look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15 to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 5.
Ladies, are you ready to shine? Here's a golden opportunity for you to show the world the queen in you, as the second edition of Face of SRTV Ladies Edition is about to begin. What are you waiting for? Register online with just 500 naira and stand a chance of winning a cash prize of 100,000 naira and the deal of becoming our ambassador. There will also be consolation prizes for second and third place winners. To register, kindly pay the registration fee and send your name, age, picture, and state of origin to this number 0906 895 2170. For more inquiries, please call 0907.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate for huge extra opportunity in diaspora. Look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15 to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814 358 2856. The Nigerian Week.
Ladies, are you ready to shine? Here's a golden opportunity for you to
back from that quick break. Like I promised before that break, I was going to come back with a guest to discuss some of these security issues we are having. And I have with me on the show this morning Honorable Rotary Joseph Otoboro Mainke JP. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Nice to have you here on the show with us this morning. You're live with us.
I'm happy to have you.
Okay, we're going to go quickly. It's no longer news that we have a lot of security issues across the country, especially when we talk about Kaduna, Benue, Niger, and some of other states we've been seeing so far. Now, yes, and a major headline yesterday, I'm going to take you to that headline just before we begin with the question this morning. So yesterday, RFI was calling on the government to beef up security ahead of the May 29 handover. Now, my question is this. There has been killing over the months, over the weeks, a lot of killings, a lot of people died, in fact, in numbers. And then there was never a such call. And why is it that it's now that they want to hand over that RFI deemed it fit to call on the government to come and rescue them? Is it that the life of the people do not really matter to these our politicians? Because we have We have, for instance, we have banditry. This is yesterday's headline. 308 people killed, 746 kidnapped in Kaduna in 3 months. There was never a call like this, and not just because we have issues of handover where politicians will come out, and then at that point they feel they will be vulnerable, they will be exposed to the public, and they are now all calling on the security. Now, what's your take on this?
You see, anyway, thank you for having me again.
You're welcome, sir.
Like I said, you see, Nigerian politicians are kind of selfish and self-centered. Kaduna have been battling with insecurity for years. Never a day the governor of Kaduna called upon the federal government, called upon the international community for help. Now it concerns the issue where he will benefit. Now he's not calling the government to come and assist him, or because of the May 29, is clamoring for government to come and put insecurity, put things in order. That is very wrong. I'm from Benue.
Yes, I was gonna bring you to that as well, because I know you're from Benue, and that is one of the reasons I brought you on the show today. In fact, I'm supposed to have a Kaduna, indigenous of Kaduna as well on the show. Now, we know a lot of killings. In your state, we read the other day that 31 community have become rebels. There are no more people, no more houses, buildings standing. A lot of people have been killed, displaced. Some actually flee, others kidnapped and killed, and now the place is deserted.
I am a victim of such circumstances in Benue. I've lost cousins in the farm. Let me tell you something. I'm into agricultural marketing.
Okay.
That is the business I'm doing, yes. Some time ago, I used to have, with my cousins and brothers, 10 trucks of yam.
Wow.
Transported to Bayelsa, Port Harcourt. Do you understand? But this current dispensation, we hardly have, happy you can go to farm. Let me tell you something. I'm happy you refer me to Benue. My people are suffering because of banditry, insecurity in the farm. But we cannot farm any longer.
Yes, of course, we know that Benue used to be the food basket of the nation, but as it stands, we don't know what is even happening in the states.
Yes.
And it's affecting the country.
And that is why also the food prices are skyrocketing on a daily basis.
Exactly. I want to highlight one or two things so that you understand the problem we're into.
Go ahead, sir.
Because of the insecurity we have in Benue.
Go ahead, sir.
Zakipen alone is one of the local government that produce yam. The biggest local government that produces yam in West Africa. Go and verify it. This is Zakipen. We have like 5 to 6 local government in Benue. They are strictly into yam farming and yam marketing. But currently, let me tell you, currently, we cannot boast of yam market in Zakipen because of insecurity, because my people are not going to farm. Let me talk about myself. I'm not into yam marketing any longer because
No way to farm. You cannot access your farms. Yes.
because of the current problem we have, my people can't go to farm. And tell me where this issue leading us to. I've lost 3 cousins in the farm. I've lost 3 cousins in the farm.
Well, it's really
the issues to government. They didn't do anything.
Well, it's really sad. It's really sad. And now May 29 is just around the corner. Tell us now about your observation when it comes to, now we know that we've already said that. I'm even more sad that somebody like El-Rufai will come out and say at this point in time. Yesterday also we had the headlines from Vanguard says insecurity, 1,266 killed 4,973 kidnapped in 15 months. This is just Kaduna alone. And then I am so sad that we have these numbers and still nobody is concerned, nobody is saying anything. But now it's because politicians will come out. I feel like they are all scared because they are coming out to where people will have access to them. They will be together with the citizens, and then the fear of the unknown. And now they are not beckoning on the securities and the security chiefs to do something. Now tell us, where do we go from here? Because
Let me tell you something. Like I said, Nigerian politicians don't care about the poor masses. All they know is themselves. Do you know that I will not call names because of one or two things? Go to National Assembly quarters. In one house, you still have 5 to 15 police, 5 to 10 police, guiding one person. Is it proper? For God's sake. That's Nigerian politicians. Now, because of the law, all the politicians across the board will be in Igbo Square for this event.
And that is why they are scared and they are calling on security to come.
Calling the police. And you know why? You know what is the current problem in Kaduna, in Southern Kaduna, in Nazare? But I can start calling places. People are crying, people are dying. That's problem.
And just last week as well in Kaduna, they had a mass burial because of the numbers of the.
I travel virtually every month. I go to Kaduna 2-3 times. Kaduna is my home. I was born in Dos. I grew up in Kaduna. Do you understand? When you talk about security, I'm aware. Everybody knows what's happening in Kaduna. But we are disappointed in Verify. Look at what happened in this university. People have been kidnapped. Do you know up to now? Some people are still remaining. The governor of Papa haven't made any word. Have not been bright. Nothing about it, and no apology. Because he knows that yes, he's coming to Abuja for this inauguration. And most of his family friends are coming. So he's calling for federal government to do some security. That is self-tension and selfishness, wickedness of the highest level.
Well, it's so sad. We really do hope that, hello, I think we have a little bit of network issues there. Hello, are you? Yes.
Time conscious. Whatever you are doing, you understand? Be security of your own. That's what I was looking for, listening to a publication by the Bishop of Sokoto Diocese. He said,
Bishop Kuka.
Yes.
Okay.
At this time, Nigeria, now we are. Secure yourself. Secure yourself.
Because I was going to ask you, what do you think we do as a people? As it stands, people are not even safe in their ancestral homes. They are not safe anywhere. Now, I feel for people over there in Benue State, in Kaduna, Niger State, where in their own community, they come to their homes to adopt them, to kidnap, to kill them. And now, as it stands, they don't even know where to go to. So what do we do? That is the question we're asking.
Look, let me tell you something. Like in Western world, in UK, other places, security headquarters are being built in the rural places. In border town.
Wow.
Yes, even in UK, in America, most of the security headquarters are built in border town and rural communities, not in urban center like Nigeria.
I said this over and over on the show that if we are having issues of insecurity in this part of these places, why not deploy more security personnel there where we're having these issues? And this was patrolling in Abuja. I said it, Pat.
Yes, you did.
Look, deploying security personnel will not be the issue. Transfer the headquarters to border towns. All the headquarters of army, police, share them, take them to border town. Rural areas, not in urban center. Look at our border, very close. Take Nigerian police headquarters down to our border and share all of them. Army, take them there in Calabar. There's one in close to what do you call it? Casina. All the border, take all the headquarters, take them there.
And that I think that would be a good move.
One, actually. Because those people need it more.
And of course we live in a country where people just go in and go out without being checkmates.
Thank you. Not being in city center, enjoying. Mobile center, enjoy. Look at what's happening. Go to. Oh my God. My sister, that's a serious problem.
Well, so sorry. Of course, I know you are from that state, Benue State. I know exactly how you feel this morning.
Okay.
Because I don't farm anymore. I don't farm anymore.
Okay, sir. It seems banditry and kidnapping have returned after the CBN policies and assaults. Don't you think insecurity can be addressed with the cashless policy?
No, I'm quite disappointed because the CBN policy was actually a good policy. We are getting used to it already, which you know. Even the man selling akara, Baba selling all this tomato and what have you, they have periods. Nigerians are getting used to those systems already. I don't see reason why they reversed it any longer. Now, the CBN reversed the policy. And look at what's happening in Kaduna now. This bandit will not send an account number for you to send money. What they want is cash. And now, what are they requesting? New cash. If you don't have it, you're in trouble. If you're unlucky, you're gone.
And now we know.
They insisted.
Okay.
They insisted. You understand? Nigerians are getting used to that system. You know Nigerians. Once you push, but once you use it, we will get used to the system.
And then, sir, we know also that one of the major aim or major campaign mantle of President Buhari, as at the time he was campaigning before he assumed office, was to improve on the security issues we were having as regarding to the Chibok abducted school girls. Now, what's your assessment of his administration when we talk about insecurity?
You see, when Buhari came in, we were having confidence the president is an ex-military man. We were expecting to have maximum security. But at this case, reverse is the case. My sister, you know what is going on. When we talk about security, the Buhari administration is totally poor. Nothing to talk about. That's not true about it. That's not true about it.
Now, we've seen the killings, I feel, for those in Kaduna, especially Kaduna and Benue State. But now, talking about this major state, like over like for the past 2 months, there is no day we sit here on the headlines, we don't hear killings from Kaduna and Benue and Niger now. What do you think the people there should do? Because as it seems though the government and the security agencies are not even doing enough.
Are you not aware that the Benue State governor have decided to do his own community policing?
Yes, of course.
That is the only solution. That's your own security. Because the Nigerian police and other security agencies couldn't help us and save our problem. The best police is build your own community policing.
Okay.
Because your community, the youth, know the areas.
Know the people as well.
Know the people as well. If you are coming in as a visitor, we know you. They will ask you questions, sir, where are you coming from? What are you doing here? Community policing is the best solution to this current problem we're having. Particularly in Benue, that was the food basket of the nation, people cannot go to farm.
People cannot even eat, and people are not even hungry in Benue State. When you go there, a lot of people don't even.
Sometimes, because of the farming system in Benue, the state government will keep people to do and find it for farmers. To go to farm.
Well, it's really a sad one, and we do hope, we do sincerely hope that the governors and the people, the chiefs there and the community leaders will sit up and do something to know that this is not something they should leave in the hand of these our militaries, police, or the government anymore, because the lives of the people, the locals, are involved. We hear numbers of people being killed, being kidnapped, houses being razed down, and it's really a sad one, sir. We do feel your pains as well. Well,
Thank you very much.
thank you so much for being on the show with us this morning, Honorable Rotary Joseph Utoboro Michael JP. We appreciate your time this morning. I'm
Thank you
sorry for
very
your
much,
loss.
sir.
You said you lost some of your cousins. Condolence.
Of course. So many that we can't even talk because we read you on television. I really appreciate you. It's very good to have me.
Thank you.
Very much,
Just
sir.
maybe we're going to have you on one of our full segments real soon.
I'm not ready anytime in the moment.
Do have a very lovely day, sir, and be at a lot while you are out there.
Thank you so much. See you in church tomorrow.
All right. Wow. It's really a sad one.
It's actually a sad one. Even from the way he sounds, you can tell.
At a point, I was feeling cold.
Yes, you can tell that he's actually he's actually very bitter about the whole situation. The Benue Kaduna killing, it's becoming something else, and the government really needs to work on. And kudos to the Benue governor, right, or the Kaduna governor who had decided to who had decided to do policing. I think that's the
State policing.
Yes, that's the way forward right now. They can't just sit and wait for the government here. I think presently all the government are all after now is the May 29.
Yes, and though it's really sad that we see a lot of people. It's really sad that this thing Erufai did yesterday. When I saw the headline, I said it here.
Yeah.
I said this only shows that they don't care about the people.
Yes, about
there is no how you have this number of people being killed on daily basis,
and they're not
being kidnapped. And then you have never said a word like our guest said, not even call on the government or the international community for help. And now because you're going to come out that day, you feel like you will be vulnerable. And the next thing you say, oh, I don't want to be, I need the securities around. So now you know that security are there and they come and they need to come and do their job. But you have been there. People have been killed, kidnapped. You never did anything. And just now, like, because you feel like you'll be in the open
with the people.
It's really a sad one, and we do also feel for people there. Like I say, it's not enough to sit here and to read these things. Sometimes we feel your pain,
yes.
We feel your sorrow as well.
So we urge everyone out there to stay at alert.
Stay at alert.
It's very, very important. You need to watch your back, watch yourself, watch everything. Any suspicious move, you should know, and hopefully we should be able to help ourselves and not just rely on the government
alone. So stay at alert, be safe while you are out there, but most importantly, stay at alert. I like what our guest said. The communities, you need to put your hands together, put hands on deck, know people that are strangers, and do your state policing. That will help to an extent, I think. And then also, don't forget, just before we wrap up, to hit on the notification bell, share our content, and of course, like our page. Invite somebody to the page and let that person invite another person to the page. Don't forget also a Nigerian Week London that is fast approaching. We are having a lot of celebrities. I'm supposed to have a guest from Kaduna this morning. It's just here. We are live. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning, sir. We are live. You're live with us on the program Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, I have with me here Reverend Father Paul Maji. Is an indigene of Kaduna, and that is why we decided to bring him on the show this morning. So on a very quick one, we want to ask you, a lot of deaths have been coming, sad story from Kaduna State. And then a lot of people killed, a lot of people also kidnapped, others displaced, and others houses as well razed. And then yesterday, I saw a news that I was not very happy with, coming from Kaduna State Governor. Now we have report says that 1,266 killed, 4,973 kidnapped in 15 months in Kaduna. Now, all this while, the governor has not said a thing about these killings. And now, just because we're having a major event activity on May 29, he decided yesterday to call on the security chiefs to secure them come May 29. Now, what's your take on this?
Once again, good morning.
Good morning.
I am from the southern part of Kaduna and I'm Adara by tribe. Born and brought up in Kaduna, currently working as a priest in Abuja Archdiocese. Based on what I heard from my family members, friends from Kaduna, the idea of El-Rufai now trying to call the attention of the federal government in respect to the security threat in Abuja basically is for selfish interests. I am Adara by tribe, and about 5 years ago, our people have been running on the streets because a lot of them have been killed. Personally, I went to Idongida now 2 years ago and asked my people, what is happening here? Now, this is what one of them told me, that those unknown gunmen will appear in the village and kill a good number of them with sophisticated weapons. Within 10 minutes, the soldiers will appear from nowhere and ask them not to retaliate, that they are going to be with them. After a week or two, same thing will happen, and then ask them, what is the way out? All what they will tell me is that they leave everything in the hand of God. So everybody is just trying to see a way how the manipulation that they did during the election will not be tempered during the handover. That is why you want to call on the federal government to insist they should support him by bringing more securities to guide and protect his evil intention of planting the wrong person as the governor. Because our people are tired. In sincerity, on that 29, a good number of them are planning that it is either you kill us or you give us our mandate.
It's really a sad one, Padre, because we know that yesterday, like I said, I saw the figures and I was sad. I had cold even reading that headline. I felt like this is not, these people are in their ancestral homes and then they are not safe. Where else can they go to? And now we saw a governor that is supposed to be somebody protecting these people, and at the end of the day, he's the one. He has been quiet. He didn't call on federal government or the international community for help, and just because they are going to, I feel like they are scared of the unknown because they are going to come at May 29. They're scared of what
Should be sincere soldiers, not soldiers in disguise. And above all, the security are no longer working to safeguard the people, rather they are working against the people of Southern Kaduna. So we only leave everything in the hand of God, hoping that one day God is going to vindicate us. We have cried, we have begged, we have called on a peace reconciliation meeting. We have raised our God to fight them back. But all these are not working for our own good. So right now, we all go back to God on our knees, begging Him to have mercy upon us, if it is because of our sins, to rescue us from the hands of the evil ones, especially the known gunmen. This is how I put them. They are unknown, but they are known. Sometimes ago, if I'm not wrong, every fight pay huge amount of money. They should stop killing us in Southern Kaduna. After a week, we now question that. Who did you pay money to? Where are they? He claimed like not pay money to anybody. So what are we not saying? They are unknown, known gunmen by the government. These are attacked. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Reverend Father Paul Maji, for being with us on the show this morning. We do feel your pain sincerely. We feel your pains. And of course, we feel the pains of the people over there, not just in Kaduna, but Benue, even Niger State. We do hope that the killings will stop and governments will do something. And like our first guest said this morning, that they have now resorted to state policing, where they will have to protect themselves because the government has failed them. Thank you so much for being on the show. We'll have you again as regarding this issue because it's a big one. The numbers are not something we should keep quiet about. Thank you so much. Do have a very lovely day, Father.
Thank you very much, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Yes, that was Reverend Father Paul Maji. He's from Kaduna, Southern Kaduna to be precise. I'm feeling goosebumps, you can see. I feel your pains, like he's already shedding tears, and that was why I had to end the call there. I feel your pains. Even the first person the first guest is from Benue State. These people are hurting. They are in pains. They are in sorrow. Like he said, they've cried, they've begged, they have prayed. There's nothing they have not done. So we are appealing, sincerely appealing to the government, to the people, security is in charge, to please see to the end of this, because these people.
There's something he said that actually got me. He said most of the security they're sent to them are in disguise.
Yes.
So I think the government should really watch
sanitize the system, put the system to know that the people you are taking there are clean. Not people that will go there in disguise or join hands with the enemies, come and destroy their own people. It's really sad, and we do feel your pains. Now that's we end up we'll just wrap up the show here because I'm not happy this morning. But just before we go, like we will always say, don't forget our Nigerian Week London is fast approaching. Get your book your ticket and get your stand. Of course, a lot of celebrities, ministries, and agencies are already partnering with us. It's going to be fun, and it's just next month, barely days away. And of course, you know that it's not just going to be fun, the colors, the food, the music, but the business opportunity we're going to be having over there. So do it to be part of it. And as well, where you are out there, we have a lot of security issues. Please stay safe. Be at alert as well. Know the people around you. And if it's not necessarily, don't move at night. Stay safe, be at alert. And of course, while you're driving, also drive carefully and obey the traffic laws. It's a good place. Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, and it's Eid
Fitri. So we say once again, congratulations to our Muslim faithfuls. Of course, after the show, we're coming to join you to celebrate.
Of course, Princess, you just look like one of them. It feels like you're also celebrating.
Yes.
So I'm going to tag along with you.
No problem. We'll go after that. Like I said before, we at the beginning of the show, that my landlord, I already saw 2 heavy big rams this morning disturbing everywhere in my compound. So I opened my window, I saw, okay, I was giving, and I told my landlord I'll be back soon. He was just laughing. So I know by now they would have been doing the suya stuff. That's what he does yearly. The suya, the pepper soup, fried rice, and goat meat and all that. I can't wait. But congratulations once again. It's been, you know how it is when you fast for days. We know yes, but thank God it has come to an end, and it's a good place to wrap up the show this morning. Well, Pat, thank you so much for being part of the show, and thank you. It's been a fun ride. It's been a successful week as well. We do this again on Monday, hopefully. And before we go, remember that
peace is priceless.
So let's give peace a chance. To have yourself a very lovely weekend and stay safe.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crop, financial product and services, and